The NBA draft is over with and free agency hasn't officially begun. Bryson Graham is not done adding talent to this roster, and the Chicago Bulls just added something that this roster needs, and that's shooting. By signing Donovan Atwell, who has reportedly signed an Exhibit 10 deal with the Chicago Bulls, he was called the best shooter in the draft class overall, and that's not just hype. The guy brings real volume, real efficiency, and a skill set that fits into what the Chicago Bulls are trying to build. But the question is, can he actually make the roster? We're going to talk about it all and more right after this. What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the content for today, y'all. So the Chicago Bulls are not done adding upside swings to this roster. The Bulls have officially today signed Donovan Atwell to an Exhibit 10 roster. Now, this is kind of unexpected. Donovan Atwell actually reportedly signed a deal with the Golden State Warriors shortly after the draft, and I haven't read anything on what happened there that maybe could have made that fall apart. But nonetheless, now the Chicago Bulls have went out and got Donovan Atwell, who's a 6'5", 200-pound center who played his last season in college basketball with Texas Tech. When you look at it, through his 4 years in college, he started 98 of 128 games. The only time he didn't start all the games that he played was his first year in UNCG, where he came off the bench on 30 games. Other than that, he played and started every single game. This is a guy that over the course of his collegiate career had an average of 41% three-point shooting-wise. Nothing else really stands out, right? He assists per game, 0.6. He's not a passer. He's just a shooter. No blocks really to speak of. Last season in Texas Tech, he did average 1.2 steals per game. So maybe there's a sign of something being there. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot because he doesn't handle the ball. This is a guy that's a straight-up shooter. His last 2 years in college basketball, 13.5 points basically each in those 2 seasons, shooting 39 and 45%, which he shot his last season at 45.8% from three. This is a guy that just brings tremendous shooting upside. And I know people are going to ask, well, if he's such a good shooter, why did he not get drafted? Well, it's because he's an extremely one-dimensional player. He almost is used exclusively as a spot-up shooter and a movement shooter. Of his 315 field goal attempts during the senior season, 284 of those came from behind the three-point arc, right? So he doesn't really have an ability to create or play make. That's just not really his skill set. He doesn't attack the rim, but it does offer him a low margin for error because he just focused on what he does well, and there's something to be said in regards to that. So, with that, he does bring a potential of elite shooting, and it earned him, a opportunity. The Golden State Warriors, like I said, were trying to sign him to an Exhibit 10 deal themselves, but it turns around, that's not going to happen. He's actually signing with the Chicago Bulls. He's going to be on the Bulls Summer League team, and for those that ask, what is an Exhibit 10 deal? It's basically a camp deal, right? And if you stay on that Exhibit 10 throughout the Summer League, and you even show up to 1 day of training camp, you just get a little bit of extra money on your G League contract. So more than likely, this is Donovan Atwell being projected to be a G League player by the Bulls. He's going to be on the Windy City Bulls. And, of course, they'll see if they can develop something more from him. He was, like I said, he was used in college primarily as a spot-up shooter, and that's it. That is his college resume. He is a shooter by nature. He brings volume, confidence, and floor spacing. And, for a team that is going to need some shooting either on the G League or whatever to help with development, right? We talked about that. Like, the Bulls are really trying to make the G League team a true developmental program, which they have not. They tried to do it some under AK. It was very inconsistent with injuries and stuff like that. But I think that's the thing that you're going to look at. But, I'm not going to call him a piece of the young core or anything. This is a player that they're trying to see what he can get. And, this is not another non-shooter. And that's what the Bulls are offering, is a different path. So what is his path to try to earn NBA minutes, right? Shooting gives him a bankable NBA skill. But as we know in the NBA, you need to do more than just shoot in the modern NBA. And so that's going to be the thing here. The question becomes about, through defense, physicality, can he survive an off ball? And that's what, if I'm the Chicago Bulls, that's immediately what I'm trying to do with Donovan Atwell, is try to show we know he can shoot. There's no question about it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He can shoot. He's going to be able to shoot at the NBA level. He's going to be able to do that. but it's now rounding out what else he can do. I talked about that over still and a half per game he averaged as a senior. If I'm the Chicago Bulls, I'm trying to build off of that and try to see if I can develop that, even if he is, more of an off ball than me playing the passing lanes type guy, right, in regards to that one. And if he can do that, he's worth somebody that you're going to look at the Summer League, look at the Windy City Bulls, but I would not expect him unless injuries or something crazy happens for him. This is a bigger picture move, right? The Bulls are stacking different type of developmental archetypes. That's what they're trying to do here. You look at Wilson, you look at Swain. Those are the guys that, of course, bring defensive upside. They have legit right-away star power upside, right? Toby Owaka is a guy that brings toughness, rebounding, physicality around the rim, shot blocking. If he's going to be able to work on that in the G League, it's good. Jalen Sellers, 3-level scoring while having some defensive upside as well. And then you look at Atwell bringing the pure shooter archetype to the Windy City Bulls also. So the Bulls, throughout this offseason, have added different level of developmental talent. You have the players that are NBA players as far as Wilson and Swain that you're trying to develop and see how far you can go with the skill sets that they have. You have your two-way contract players that may float around with some use on the NBA roster, definitely in the preseason with Toby Owaka and Jalen Sellers. And now you're bringing in Donovan Atwell as well, a pure just shooter that you're trying to see if you can develop anything more than the baseline shooting that he has here. And you're going to work on that in the G League. This is what good teams and franchises do, is that you try to develop multiple different players and archetypes. And it's something that we're not used to, because so long for AK would draft somebody at the end of the first round, try to sell us on the upside and the swing there. And then they go in the G League and we never think about them again, right? Like, think about Marko Simonovic. Never really got or earned an opportunity at the next level. Adama Sanogo did come up to the NBA and had double-double games at times when we needed him, but never really got a real consistent opportunity and chance. Then you got guys like Julian Phillips and Dalen Terry, who actually looked pretty good in the G League for the Windy City Bulls, but never really got that NBA skill and cracked the rotation in a meaningful way consistently, right? And so with Bryson Graham, Tiago Splitter, the coaching staff that they're going to establish here. By the way, has anybody talked about if Billy Donovan III is still going to be the Windy City Bulls head coach? I haven't even thought about that till just now talking about it. I have to do some research on that. I'll be back to you guys on that one. But so this is what the Bulls are trying to do. Different level of developmental talent. See what you have here. Continue to invest in young upside guys. No risk and high reward, basically, is the thing. There's no risk by signing a shooter like this. If it works out, great. If not, he'll be the next Antonio Blakeney at the G League level that puts up a lot of points, makes me covering G League games a little bit more fun, and that's really all that it comes down to. So we'll see what the future does hold, but for what it's worth, Bryson Graham continues to just seem like somebody who has a plan and a vision, and he's going out and executing that. It doesn't mean everything is going to work out, but it does mean that there is structure to what the Chicago Bulls are trying to do here, and we haven't had that lot here as Bulls fans. So let me know what you guys think on it all down below. Do you think Donovan Atwell can actually be something for the Chicago Bulls? Let me know that. Make sure you guys are following us at Bulls. Well, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode or an upload. You can follow us at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, and I'll catch you guys the next time I feel like making a video. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See you, Red, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of Breaks